So regular polyhedra, there's only 5 of them. We've got the tetrahedron, got the cube, we've got the octahedron, we've got the dodecahedron, and we've got the icosahedron. And they are 4-faced, 6 faces, 8 faces, 12 faces, and 20 faces. And we'll look more at these in just a little bit. All right, otherwise, we need to get some other things done. So the Khan Academy assignments are pretty short and brief for this section. Mouse working. Hello. Oh, there it goes. I'm thinking about one more assignment. I'm not sure we'll get to that. I'm still writing it up. So section 3, there are 6 main topics. We've gone over 3 of them so far. There's some Khan Academy assignments, 2 videos, 2 7-question assignments. Check those out when you can. All right, so here, this assignment's a little bit different. I would like you to find a cool 3D object, and I would like a picture of it, or maybe you could build it. So for example, once upon a time, I got all excited about soldering stuff, and so I built a dodecahedron because I thought it was cool. A friend of mine built a giant icosahedron that he lives in. So let me show that. Stop sharing. So when this class used to meet live before COVID, we used to make stuff in class, and I brought in a whole bunch of soldering irons. And so this one right here is, I just have a bunch of wires soldered together. And this one right here is my edge version of the dodecahedron. And somewhere I have a paper version of this too. And then for fun, I matched it with this icosahedron. And this icosahedron is designed so that if you were to find the middle of each of these spaces here, and you were to like connect them, this here would turn into this here, which is kind of a weird phenomenon. So if I take a point in the middle of every face here, and I connected those, I would get a new set of edges inside here, which turns out to be this shape right here, this 20-sided shape, which is kind of bizarre. I'll show more about that next class. Another cool thing, I'm going to, let's see, switch cameras. Zoom is very slow today. I want to show you a picture I took last year of a cool geometric shape. Just give me a sec. Virtual backgrounds. Come on, you can do it. There you go. Where'd you go? There it is. All right. So this shape right here was a playground in Corvallis, Oregon. And you can see that there's these points periodically, these metal straps. And out of these metal straps here come all of these bands. And then the bands pass through these rings and head off somewhere else. So they made this wild geometric pattern inside this spherical type shape here that you can climb around in like a crazy monkey person. And so this was my cool geometric shape. I'll post more about it in that forum so you can check it out. But there's so much cool geometry out there. So maybe you saw something cool on TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat, or maybe out there in the world like this, you saw something like, wow, that thing's cool. Find me something cool that's 3D and tell me why it's cool, is this assignment. Tell everybody why it's cool, actually. So back to that assignment here. So this one, you're gonna have to go out and find something or build something or show me something you already built. Like I had several students that were taking an art class and they made some wild sculptures that had some interesting geometry to them. So the sky's the limit. Anything you think is really cool, I wanna see a picture of it. Tell us about it. Why is it cool? So pretty straightforward assignment here. So have fun with that. I'll post something later today and then again for the next class. And feel free to post more than once. The next thing we're going to look at and tie things up for today is there's an interesting relationship between faces, vertices, and edges on polyhedra. So we're going to look at the regular polygons, which are also called the platonic solids. There are only 5 of them. And what we're going to try and do is count the faces, vertices, and edge for each one, and then see if we can find a relationship between those 3 numbers. Turns out they're related. Then we're gonna find 3 other shapes, and I'll do one with you here today, and the other 2 are gonna be for homework, where you either sketch it or you give it a name or have a picture of it, and then you count how many faces, vertices, and edges. Does it have the same relationship as the figures above? It should, if we count right. We just gotta figure out what that relationship is. So this is gonna be kind of an individual work together thing right now for those of you that are with me. I have a link to a page, I believe this is Wikipedia, about the platonic solids. One cool thing about this particular page is they have these 3D versions of them that you can, let's see, I used to be able to move them. Or they move on their own. There we go. You can grab them and try and rotate them to see if you can count how many vertices are there, how many edges are there, and how many faces are there. And then we're gonna hopefully agree with each other on what those are for each figure. So we should be able to agree on that. It's kind of nice to have a set in front of you, but like I have my little dice, but counting those little tiny edges is a little bit tricky. So this is not trivial. You're gonna have to think about it a little bit. And this I always find hurts my head just a wee bit. I'm gonna try to do it. Back again. Yeah, so here they are right here. And these you can kind of see through. So maybe the see-through version might be a good one to try and count the faces, edges, and vertices. Now we already got the faces, right? That shouldn't be a problem, right? 4, 6, 8, 12, 20. Next thing we have to do is count the vertices, the points, and the edges, the lines. Okay, so let's each start doing that. I'm gonna pause this and we'll reconvene in a sec.